All right, everybody. I'm jumping in here for another set of classics, another round. You know, there's a period where I was working at this audio place and doing a lot of searching and doing a lot of encoding and things like that. And I had a lot of time in that period to browse a lot of blogs and search out a lot of music. And like a lot of people in that period, you know, for those few years, it was flooded with all types of sharing sites and, you know, out of print records and bootlegs and everything under the sun. Nobody had enough time to even grasp all of it. You'd go down a rabbit hole and you'd have to make some serious choices just to decide which direction to go, and you'd never end up in the same place. Anyway, I'm just going to throw out a little live track of Led Zeppelin, which probably wasn't in their set all that much, and so this one's definitely got some history to it, only in the fact that it was recorded bootleg by a somewhat illustrious person who had a few years reigning of getting these bootlegs, and I'll go into that more afterwards. But for now, let's jump into, I believe this is, and I've sort of gotten rid of all the dates and times, but this one I believe is 1975 at the Long Beach Arena, and this is Led Zeppelin. And let's do one that I was curious how many of you heard before, but let's do a little version of the Crunge. Here we go. Okay, just going to jump in. It's going somewhere. But anyway, I love this live because, you know, you can tell that they're not, they're like, there's a lot of little missteps and little, you know, between, I don't think John Paul Jones probably, I'm sure he knows exactly what's going on. But, and he's getting tight with Bonham. But obviously Jimmy, you know, he's a little hit and miss here. But, you know, I don't care. I love it. The fact that Zeppelin sometimes is not afraid to just throw out something and you know, not have it pristine, perfect, done a million times, the same way every time. That's something where a lot of groups, you know, you take your chances. I would rather have surprises, honestly. You know, I saw Rush 2 nights in a row and it was exactly the same. I love Rush, but, you know, I'd like to hear, you know, I'd rather hear a little improv, a little surprises, but I get why they don't do it, you know. It's a lot of extra work, exponential work to sort of, you know, keep things really tight or to just have things free flow, you know. So you're playing, you know, 75% of a year, off and on, again and again and again. Yeah, so anyway, to cut it short, I love these little like jarring little missteps. I mean, in this song, it's already kind of like everything's offbeat, everything's, you don't know where it's hitting. There's no wrong place to hit it. But it's cool to see him sort of like just kick it around a little bit. And let's see where they take it. I'm going to kick it back a little bit. Find the bridge indeed. Where's the one? Where's the top? All right, I'm gonna kick it back a bunch because I hate to cut it off, but I'm gonna jump back into it and hear it all over a little bit again. But have you ever heard, especially John Paul Jones, in front of the mix so much? His bass lines are like right on top of the mix, and it's amazing to hear him just driving this song. And Bonham, you know, he's keeping the pocket, but then he's like just wailing away and taking, you know, I don't care where, he doesn't know where he's coming back. He's like, it's going to come back somewhere, and it's going to fall into the pocket again. Doesn't care if it's in the top, in the second, the third, the fourth, the end of the beat, it's going to come back in. Everything, it's like a cat, they're going to land on their feet. But yeah, John Paul Jones in top of the mix. I don't think I've ever heard him so much in front and hearing what he's doing, this funk beat. And then Jimmy Page just gets to throw out the theremin and Robert Plant mixture of them two, just thrown out into the atmosphere. Let's kick it back a bunch. Here we go. was it going into out of there? Oh, I think it was going to the Crunge. They call that a Funky Interlude into Black Dog. And I thought there was a version where it went into Sick Again, but yeah, it says it goes into Black Dog, which I guess it could. So, but yeah, that's just, I don't know. That's one of those amazing. So yeah, that was Long Beach Arena, 1975. Mike Millard master tape. So let's go into, again, great version. For anybody out there, you've gone through the whole Zeppelin discography, and there's a handful of bootlegs out there that are like, stand out. There's a lot of acoustic stuff which stands out because you get to hear John Paul Jones on mandolin playing along with Jimmy, which is kind of nice. He was really good. Up there, great mandolin player. Obviously, later in life, he's played mandolin with some bands, did a lot of different little projects here and there. So he's a great session player. Strings, keyboard, bass, all around utility man. But in that, the bass, like you can tell, like I felt almost bad for Jimmy Page once he got off the theremin, because he really had to get that funky rhythm going, because John Paul Jones and John Bonham were not going to stop. You could tell like they could go for another 5 minutes. They could speed it up, probably double time that, and you couldn't have any shaky hands around that time. So let's just jump into a little bit how that recording, because it's a really interesting story. Mike Millard, nicknamed Mike the Mike, M-I-C, Mike the Mike. Avid concert taper, 1973 to 1994, over 300 concerts all around California, Long Beach, and what was the other one that Led Zeppelin was known for? Long Beach and LA Forum. Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones. He said he taped virtually every show at the Forum from 1974 to 1980, and many of his recordings found their way into the hands of bootleggers who sold his work to fans. He started with a basic mono recorder in 1973, upgraded to a Nakamichi 550 stereo recorder with 8-key acoustic microphones for the 1975 Led Zeppelin shows in the area. This is the interesting part. He often used a wheelchair to conceal his equipment, pretending to be disabled, and apparently the security guards would bring him right up to the front, where he had a couple stereo mics right underneath the seat, just picking it all up. It's amazing. Unlike most 1970s audience bootlegs, Millard's recordings are known for their good sound quality and are to this day considered some of the finest audio bootlegs available. Let me see. Yeah, that's the mojo. The thing is, I guess he was never really behind the sale of the bootlegs. He did it for posterity. The groups back then weren't doing these high def, it's kind of like the Dead's bootleg community. Just got thousands, probably tens and thousands of shows and bootlegs, and I had a friend who was really into all that, and it would to the beginning listener, they would be kind of like, these don't sound great, and honestly, it's like something where I would probably like Jerry Garcia's tone, I'd like the band tone, I like the albums, but if I were to just hear the live recordings, I would be like, oh God, he sounds so tinny, he sounds so, his tone is so not pleasing. And it wasn't a great first. It wouldn't be a great first listen to judge them by. But yeah, groups back then, they weren't doing, other than obviously the song remains the same. Led Zeppelin bootlegs. They weren't looking to do really pristine live shows and great sound quality overall. But so this guy did it. But he was notorious for marking copies of his tapes, so that if one of his recordings turned up for sale, he would be able to tell which person he traded it to. He kept a very detailed logbook of his marked recordings and who they were distributed to. In 2016, several unmarked first-generation copies of his Zeppelin recordings surfaced in trading circles. A 2021 Rolling Stone article lauded the quality of his 1975 recording of Pink Floyd going so far as to say if Pink Floyd ever decides to create a bootleg series, they should get their hands on Millard's master tapes, starting with his 1975 Los Angeles gig. It's the band at the peak of their abilities as a live act and deserves to be heard as widely as possible. I haven't heard that one. I don't think I have, so I may have to do a follow-up on this on some. I'm going to try to do like a little bit of a bootleg series, and try to find some stuff that's a little bit off the beaten path and stuff for people that maybe haven't taken that deep dive, which it's a lot of, like anything, it's a lot of listening, and it's when you have a lot of time on your hand, it's good, you can kind of rip through stuff and try to hear like the gems, but there's a lot of stuff out there, so it's luckily the community is really good at keeping, it's sort of keeping, they've already sort of sifted through it, and they already have a lot of opinions on, the ones to check out. So anyway, that is Led Zeppelin 1975, Long Beach Arena, the Crunge. And this is sort of the first series. I'm just going to jump into some really cool bootlegs. Hope you liked this one. We'll see you later. I'm going to jump out and jump back into this mix a little bit here the second time. So this is going to take us out. Take care.